We bet you don't know Toy Story as well as you think you do, and today's video is going to show you all the details you missed. Are you ready to discover the secrets the franchise's 5 movies hid from you? Andy. Did you notice that Bonnie never removed Andy's name from Bullseye's hooves? When Jessie talks to Lilypad for the first time and argues with her for constantly stealing Bonnie's attention, the cowgirl says she knows what she's talking about because she has experience with 3 different kids. She shows Bonnie's name and Jessie's name, but when it's time to talk about Andy, the cowgirl shows the boy's name on the toy horse's hooves. This is an interesting detail because apparently, Bullseye is the one toy who will never forget Andy, since his name will always be there to remind everyone where they came from. And that's pretty sweet, isn't it? This is just one of the 20 details we're going to show you today about all 5 Toy Story movies. You know what's starting. It's another awesome Cinewave! Abandoned. You probably didn't even notice that Blaze, Bonnie's new friend, abandoned the toys in her backyard, did you? When the ranch pig traps Jessie inside the dollhouse, the cowgirl finds a few toys who are desperate for a visit from their former owner. Those toys explain that Bonnie likes having tea parties with them, but that she hasn't visited them in several years. That scene is the last time those same toys appear in the movie, and it's really sad because in the end, the girl abandoned them. Blaze may still play with dolls, but she no longer plays the same games she used to play with those forgotten toys. It's a shame, but that's what happened to them. Snow White. Did you catch the Snow White reference in Toy Story 5? This scene happens when the army of Buzz Lightyear toys is in the forest searching for Star Command. As they walk through the woods, a few animals begin approaching them and playing with them. This is a direct reference to the scene where Snow White is lost in the forest and meets several animals who help her feel safe and comfortable. But instead of finding 7 dwarfs, the toys find a family, and one of them is taken away to become a child's toy. Disney loves referencing its own movies. Eggman. You probably noticed that Lilypad is a toy created by Eggman, a company from the Pixar universe. This is also the same company that helped Andy and his family move to their new house in Toy Story 1. A lot of people missed this detail, but it looks like Eggman stopped being a moving truck company and shifted its focus to creating technology, since the company also created Smarty Pants. Horses. You know those horses Blaze keeps on a shelf in her bedroom? They reference a specific scene from Toy Story 2, when Jessie talks to Woody about Emily and remembers the girl. Years earlier, Emily had a wall in that same bedroom covered with pictures of horses. In the same way, Blaze decided to fill her room with several toy horses. That's why she brings Bullseye into the house. Technology. Have you ever noticed that Blaze's old devices, once connected, can send and receive messages from any device, whether it's a phone, tablet, or computer? There's actually a scientific explanation for this, and it's pretty cool, so we're going to show you exactly how they're able to do it. Atlas has a location technology called GPS, meaning he can communicate with satellites in space, and that's extremely important when it comes to sending messages. Smarty Pants is a toy that can transmit electronic data, but he can't receive that data. Snappy is the one who does that. When you put those 3 things together, they can receive and send messages to any device. That's why when they work together, they're able to communicate with Lilypad. Would you like to have a Lilypad just like Bonnie's? Comment the hashtag toy so we can get to know you. My Little Pony. You know My Little Pony, one of the most famous toy collections in the world. Would you believe us if we told you there's a My Little Pony in Blaze's bedroom? Of course you would, because it's the same white and pink Pegasus Buzz rides when he goes after Jessie. This character is a reference to one of the most famous toys on the planet, which is why it looks different from the girl's other horses sitting on the shelf. Now we just need to figure out which My Little Pony that horse is supposed to be. Our guess is that it's a representation of Princess Celestia. Hairbow. Did you notice that Jessie took Emily's daughter's hair bow for herself? Ever since the second movie, the doll had worn a yellow bow in her hair as a decoration, and it was originally part of her toy line. But after Jessie discovered that Emily had named her daughter after her, she decided to take the hair accessory the girl had left behind and use it to decorate her own hair. The movie ends with Jessie carrying a reminder of her former owner, and that's really sweet. Change. Did you notice that every Toy Story movie begins with a game of make-believe? However, there's a change between the first movie and the other movies in the franchise. In Toy Story 1, we see Andy's bedroom filled with cardboard boxes that were painted to look like an Old West town. The boy continues playing until we discover that the toys are alive, but in Toy Story 2 and 3, things change. The beginning of those 2 movies is an adrenaline-filled action sequence, and the reason for that is pretty simple. Starting with the second movie, there was no longer any need to hide the fact that the toys were alive, but there's another surprise behind this change. Reference. Still talking about the opening scene scenes in Toy Story, did you notice that movies 1 and 3 share the same scenario from Andy's imagination? The first movie shows Andy imagining that Mr. Potato Head is a bank robber who is running away from Woody until he uses his force field dog to escape, only for Woody to reveal that he has a dinosaur that eats dogs with force fields. In the first movie, however, it was only part of Andy's imagination while he played. There were no special effects or anything like that. But in Toy Story 3, Andy plays the same game, and this time, we get to see the scene as though it were actually happening. Mr. Potato Head even repeats his famous line that became a meme, "Money, money, money." Dating. Have you ever wondered how and why Bo Peep started dating Woody? The two of them have been together since the first movie, but there's one detail you may have missed. Bo Peep is a doll who belongs to Andy's sister, Molly, and that's very important for understanding what happened. The truth is that in the first movie, Molly's crib was inside Andy's bedroom. They slept in the same room because the house didn't have a separate bedroom for each of them, and since Woody and Bo Peep were the favorite toys of the only two children in the house, sleeping in the same room was the beginning of their relationship. That's sweet, don't you agree? Mickey. Did you notice that Mickey Mouse appears in Toy Story? Yes, it really happens, and almost nobody noticed it. In Andy's bedroom, there's a large blue clock with a picture of Mickey right in the middle of the hands. It's a detail that has appeared since the first movie, but almost nobody talks about it. And if you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do. Click and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. Blanket. In the first Toy Story movie, Andy has a cowboy-themed blanket on his bed because Woody is his favorite toy. But after he gets Buzz, the boy changes the theme of his bedroom to rockets and stars. So far, that makes perfect sense, but in the third movie, we see that there are no longer any cartoon themes on the boy's blankets because he no longer cares about those things. Kiss. In the second movie, Bo Peep gave Buzz a long kiss on the cheek, saying it was meant for Woody when he found him, and that's a detail almost nobody paid much attention to. But Buzz became extremely embarrassed because his friend's girlfriend had kissed him. The Others. Still in the second movie, we see an old television show featuring Woody, but if you pay attention, it shows a different line of toys. Their mouths open like puppets, which is different from regular Woody and Jessie dolls, meaning there are other types of cowboy toys out there. Emily. Another detail is that Emily's face had already appeared in Toy Story 2. In a picture on the dresser in her bedroom, we can see the girl for the first time. Did you notice that? Hat. Have you ever noticed that the red hat Andy wears while playing with his toys is actually a human-sized version of Jessie's hat, not Woody's? That hat with the white stitching is an almost exact copy of the one Jessie wears, meaning it's actually a girl's accessory. This suggests that Andy's mother was the one who introduced Woody to him. She probably watched the cowboy show when she was a child and later gave her own hat to her son. A Bug's Life. In Toy Story 4, during the opening scene when we see Andy's bedroom, there's a calendar hanging in the corner of the wall. The calendar features the Pixar movie A Bug's Life. Did you catch that detail? Boo. In the scene at Bonnie's new school, when she enters the classroom, we can see a girl wearing a purple outfit. Her hair is tied up in a special way on both sides, and it looked like some kind of reference. We didn't know what it was until we realized that the girl actually looks a lot like Boo from Monsters, Inc. Did you catch this Easter egg? Merida. Inside the antique store from the fourth movie, the shop where Woody gets trapped, there's a ceramic plate with a green background and the image of a sword. That image is actually the symbol of Clan Dunbrock, the family of Princess Merida from the movie Brave. Almost nobody noticed it, but it was a really cool reference. And it would be even cooler if you stayed with us to discover more and more news about the world of animation, and maybe even watch a video about Pixar's upcoming movies. It's almost over, but until then, you can stay with us. There are 2 super fun videos waiting for you. Thanks, and see you next time.